In the heart of McElderry Park, an East Baltimore community struggling with crime, drugs, and deterioration, a sacred space is changing the face and future of its residents.
I come here to walk this labyrinth just for spiritual guidance, to give us some time to meditate and think about what we're going to do. We normally walk this before we have rallies or any other important meeting that's dealing with social injustice in our communities. In 35 years, I've seen the transition of this community. As moving into this community as a single parent, this was a predominantly white community. But I watched this neighborhood change as new minority homeowners moved in. And I've had the experience of the white flight. What I saw happen is that once they started tearing down some of these other neighborhoods that were high crime, they had a tendency of pushing all those people into this neighborhood, which really just added to the disconnect that was already here. This particular area was high crime, a lot of violence. But now we come here and you see people come here and pray. So it's kind of like bringing that spiritual value back into our communities. And that's what many neighborhoods like this, when it was doing really bad, had missed. We're in the 600 block of North Port Street. The significance of this particular block, this is the very first block that was torn down of houses that's been vacant for years. And working with Amazing Grace Church in McElderry Park, we was able to turn it into green space. This is what really started us off and realizing that we can make positive changes in our own neighborhood.
Well, here we've got the amazing Port Street Garden that was formed out of the interior of a block of derelict row homes that were torn down by the city about 20 years ago. Right here we've got a bed that was planted by students at Tench-Tillman Elementary School up the street, kindergartners through second graders who just put seed in the ground. Right here we've got some lettuce coming up. We'll have all different kinds of greens coming up. And then back here in the bed behind me, we've got last year's kale plants that we're letting go to seed to collect the seed.
We're standing at the intersection of East Monument Street and North Rose Street. This is like one of the highest crime areas that we have.
McElderry Park neighborhood received a $1 million grant that would be for over a 3-year time period, that would be for a whole bunch of neighborhood programming that all went to the end result of reducing crime.
President Obama said he wanted to make fundings available on the community grassroots level. He chose 15 cities in the United States through the United States Department of Criminal Justice. Baltimore is one of those cities. We have had focus group meetings, we have had listening sessions, we had focus group meetings with the schools, with the merchants, basically saying what they want to see this money spent on.
And the top priorities to reduce crime were workforce development, youth engagement programming or youth mentoring, crime reduction through environmental design, cleaning and greening projects, and work on housing in the neighborhood, so working on the vacants that were in the neighborhood.
We're at the intersection of North Rose between the 400 and 500 block along Jefferson Street, so we're going east this way. As you can see here, we had a lot of vacant property. What you see here was all up along Jefferson Street going back up to 5 blocks. At least 60% of these houses were vacant. They were drug infested. They were inhabited by a lot of homeless people. And what has happened is that we were blessed with working with Habitat for Humanity on the Chesapeake that has come into this neighborhood and actually taken 54 vacant properties and turned it to home ownership. We're looking at changing the game, and especially when you're talking about training people and creating jobs. Too many programs and projects have come to our neighborhoods that help people to become carpenters, electricians, masoners. But the thing about it is that they don't get them certified and bonded. And what we're saying is that we want to see something different. We want these people certified and bonded, so when they leave that first job, that they can go to another job and get paid what they deserve.
The challenge is that a lot of people need work. There's no work. And that's the biggest challenge.
What we're tired of in neighborhoods are like this is too many programs and projects coming in that's designed to take care of us. We do not need to be taken care of. We need to be liberated. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, slave masters took care of their slaves. All right, we need to be liberated and learn how to do things on our own.
Well, my history in this community dates back to when I was a child.
We are just an open community which trying to work and get our families the best we can.
There's a little stamp of each individual person who's lived here.
To put your feet where so many before you have walked.
That kind of thing sends chills up your spine.
Watch My Town, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on CharmTV.
About 3 to 4 years ago, I was on my way to the store and I noticed that, I don't know why, but I noticed the dead tree wells. I did a survey on the tree wells, the empty tree wells in McElderry Park. Took me 4 days to go around and I surveyed every tree well in McElderry Park. I came up with 120 empty tree wells and I turned it over to the forestry department. Forgot all about it. About 6 months later, some people from the Baltimore Tree Trust came. They said they was going to put 800 trees in McElderry Park. Thus far, they have done 200. The trees for us provide clear air, oxygen. It provides beauty in the community, and my goal, it's not that I'm trying to be Johnny Appleseed, but I want to see the suburbs within the inner city. And with a lot of challenge, we can get that done. We already got 200 trees planted with a goal of 800 trees in McElderry Park.
This is the amazing Rose Street Garden. This is the 600 block of Rose Street. This block right here was very heavily drug infested, a lot of vacant property. Once we was able to work with the city to tear it down, the McElderry Park Community Association and the Amazing Grace Lutheran Church, we decided to turn this into green space.
It's really important for little kids and people of all ages to be able to come here and see the bees collecting nectar from the flowers and learn how seeds turn into plants, turn into food in the ground, and just get a taste of the natural world here in East Baltimore.
One of the programs that we're going to put into place is a program at Tench-Tillman Elementary School in the rec center. And what we're missing in the neighborhood right now is after school programming. So something for kids to do from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So every evening at the Tench-Tillman Rec Center, we're going to have a different organization from the community do a different activity for middle school and for high school kids. Whenever we think about our past in McElderry Park, I think we have to recognize that government institutions, social services, a lot of the private sector has forgotten these kinds of neighborhoods for a long time. Once we can express our anger and express our frustration at those institutions having not worked for us for so long, I think only then are we able to move forward.
Many neighborhood associations try not to deal with what they consider undesirable, but they're here in the neighborhood. And we have to learn to work with everybody. We got people on different economic levels. We have unemployment, we have substance abuse problems. And in neighborhoods like this, we have to learn to work with everybody in our community. Okay, as I walk through McElderry Park today, what I see now is more involvement from the community residents. I see more participation. I see that there's more people moving in the community that have some sense of family values and community pride.
Keep the good word up.
All right, thank you, man.
For more information on Baltimore neighborhoods and full episodes of My Town, go to www.charmtv.tv.